Thank you. Great. Have a great day. Right. Welcome, everyone. I will do. Thanks, Amir. All right. Welcome, everyone, to live streaming. Welcome, everyone, to live streaming. We will be starting the class in about 5 minutes. Today, we are going to be doing toilet rolls and what the amazing things you can do for yourself and when you have children, what to do with those toilet rolls. So I look forward to seeing all of you in about 5 minutes. Right, welcome to live streaming. We are about to start our class for the day. It's great to have you. For most people watching, it's late at night on Wednesday night. For me, it's 10 o'clock in the morning of Thursday. So we are a good 12 hours ahead of most of you. I hope you are all nice and warm and cuddled up with a nice cup of coffee so you can sit back and enjoy just finding out how to use your toilet rolls, because it's so easy to just toss them into either the recycle bin or into the normal bin. Good morning, Joanne. Good morning, Bob. Lovely to have you again. And Priscilla, and Monica, and Myra, and Carol. Wow, awesome
Hello.
to have. Hi, lovely to have you all back in class. This is awesome. I recognize a lot of faces and I recognize a lot of names. Welcome everyone back to class. So welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy today's edition of how to use your toilet rolls. Bobs, are you well?
Yeah.
Great. And lovely to see you, Annie and Donna and Priscilla again. Lovely. And Myra, also great to have all of you back in class. I hope that by the and Diane has now just joined us, and Donna. Lovely. So we have a really nice big class today. And hi, Diane. Lovely to have you in class. If you have your computer on mute and you busy looking for that microphone and you can't find it, you don't need it. If you press your space bar, and while you've got your hand holding your space bar down, you can talk. And then when you take your space bar up, your hand off your space bar, you go mute again. So it's a very quick and easy way for people to be able to chat. So let's see if we can start. I'm going to, thanks, Diane. I like the thumbs up. It always helps. It's nice when people experiment with different things. But please feel free to interact with me at any time. I don't ask you to turn off your microphones. That's your choice. Unless you are talking to somebody else, then I will mute you. So it just makes it easier that way. Today we are live streaming again, so we have people watching from their armchairs, and I hope that they are going to start following us and actually joining Get Set Up so that they can actually interact with all of us in class. So let me start my sharing. Hoping that what I've done this time will work straight away. Oh, more people joining us. That's awesome. Right. Simple creations using toilet rolls. When you look at an ordinary toilet roll, I found white ones the other day, which is very nice because you don't have to paint them or anything. They are already attractive. Now, when I go toilet roll buying, I look to see what the center of the roll looks like, as well as what the texture of the fabric is. So I now look for two things. But if you've got your toilet roll, you think, oh, I can't do anything for myself with a toilet roll. Well, believe it or not, you can do a large number of things with your toilet roll. So we're going to start looking at all of the things that you can use. So let's begin. Now, there we go. Get Set Up is all about learning from each other. I've learned some amazing things from a lot of the people in my classes. And I have a section of the garage that is now my creating spot. I have a large table. I have my jigsaw puzzle out there as well because I love doing jigsaws. and I have all my bits and pieces. And I've got a lot of projects that are in process that will be used at a later stage for me to show you that I've actually made the things. Most of them I have made myself, but I left them behind in South Africa when I moved to Australia because I couldn't bring everything. In fact, I brought 2 suitcases and a box, and that was my life that moved to Australia 3 years ago. So, yes, I'm just starting to now build more things and make more things as I go along. You can request a recording after the class. And if you're joining by live streaming, the best way to participate is to register and join us in class because it's so much fun to be able to talk to each other in class and share ideas. When we don't promote specific products, if there's a product that's used, it's something I use. Right. A little bit about myself. We've been asked to do this. I live in Perth, Australia, so I'm on the other side of the world to most of you. I've been an educator for 44 years. And my favorite subject was technology when I was teaching, not IT, but actually building things with children. How to build a rocket, how to make a car move, a little, obviously, model car move. How do you get something to go up and down? And so we learned all the moving parts of things. How to make a structure, another fabulous one to do. And how to cook, make different tastes. I've got a love of animals. That's why I do my 4 animal presentations on African animals and Australian animals. And I really enjoy being a guide on Get Set Up. Right. We're going to create using toilet rolls. Not are there things that we can do with children, there are also things we can do with ourselves. And we don't need a lot of tools. Mostly we have the things around, and if we don't, we can get them at the dollar shop for very little and have a selection of things for children to use and ourselves. We've got scissors, glue or glue gun, paper, cardboard, crayons, markers, paint, and of course, toilet rolls today. So, 2 of the things that we can see in the picture here, the one at the top is just cutting a toilet roll in half, not even in half, into whatever size you want. Make a slit in the toilet roll. There we go, straight down, and cover it with sticky paper. You can paint it, you can cover it with sticky paper, and then you can get all the different letters of the alphabet, and the children can then put their name or their initials on it, and it becomes an instant bracelet. For the boys, it's Superman's special powers. So it's the imagination that then takes off using just a simple toilet roll. The box at the bottom we will be making later on. That is, for me, the most useful box in the world. Now, our agenda. There are some theme ideas because children have times when they want to be mermaids or they want to be sharks or they want to be all sorts of amazing things. And so you can make things according to where they are at that time. And if you've got varying ages, each of them can be making something different in their own theme. But I will be going through different themes that can be used: under the sea, fairy homes, pirates and princesses, insects, animals including dinosaurs, and space. And then we're going to make a whole lot of things for ourselves: gift boxes, murals and mirrors, and beautiful roses. All of these can be made out of toilet paper. Oh, sorry, toilet rolls, not the paper. Right. The first thing we have here is the fairy homes. Look how gorgeous these toilet rolls are. You can use toilet roll size. You can use the longer ones. You can use fatter, thinner, whatever rolls from big paper that people have got. Sometimes if you go to a place that does a lot of laminating or or has rolls of paper, they often have a box of waste. And you can go look in there and you can get different size rolls that you wouldn't normally use, but you can then happily take those away and use them. And I cut the windows for my grandchildren because I'm still scared of little children using a cutting knife. So they draw what they want, and I will help them to just cut the holes for them. The ideal way of lighting it is to either use fairy lights inside. You can get little strings of them, or you can get something like this. This is a light. It goes inside and it lights up right through your box, and it is lovely. This can just be the steps going into the house, and they have got their fairy house, and they can light it up by putting their finger through the door and just pressing the middle of it, and suddenly their house is all lit up. You can use, I call it felt. I'm not sure what you call it in America. I don't even know what they call it in Australia. That is a fabric that's nice and soft and easy to fold, but it's not as soft as cotton. And you can use that to make the roof of the house. You can decorate it with anything you like. The children can paint their toilet rolls and turn them into amazing homes for their fairy homes. And they put them inside, they put them outside. They make little cups out of, they go look around the garden and find the bottom end of a plant can become a teacup for their fairy. And so you can build a wonderful imaginary garden with them using your toilet roll as your base. Any questions, any ideas? Not yet. Okay, lots more to come. All right, under the sea. Wow, we can go to town under the sea. If they want to be a mermaid, you can use the toilet roll and use sticky paper, or you can use painting, or you can use ordinary paper that you just snip to make the hair, or anything that you're wanting. You can use those little fluffy balls to make the little top for the little mermaid girl. All sorts of things can be used to create and build. You can make fish. Let me just bring my stuff a bit closer. It wandered away. There's my open mouth fish. And all you do is put on some of the fins on it and a tail. You can build your tail however you want your tail for your fish. And then you've got this lovely fish with a beautiful open mouth, your open mouth fish. And then the children play with their fish. Their fish goes and sees what it can fit into its mouth and what it's going to eat today. You can create crabs, sharks. By just cutting the mouth open and adding some white paper, you can create a wonderful shark. And you can use the piece you've cut out as the tail and the fin of the shark. So using just one toilet roll, you've created a magical shark. You can also create some wonderful fish. And these kind of fish, you can do what you like with the tail of your fish. That's just cutting your toilet roll whichever way you would like. To make the mouth of the fish, what you do is you take your toilet roll, the top of your toilet roll, you flatten it so that it is together, you flatten it, and then you just push from either side in. And then you have got the inside of your fish's mouth. You can either make a mouth that goes this way, or you can make a mouth that goes that way. So it's entirely up to you as to which way you would like the mouth of your fish to go. There's my mouth. There's the mouth of my fish. And then you can put sequins on it. You can put material on it. You can put shiny little stickers. I've got wonderful shiny stickers that I put on it. And so you've got a real variety of things that you can decorate your fish with. Mine are in the process of being decorated. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, they will be ready for class. It's just while I am still doing all my presentations, my crafty time has taken a back seat. We also can make wonderful jellyfish out of your paper, octopus out of your toilet roll. And so the sky is the limit under under the sea. You can make a whale or a narwhal. Either work very, very well. A narwhal will have the horn in the front, a whale would not. But you can easily make all different sorts with a little mouth. And of course, as soon as you put a Google eye on it, this thing comes alive because it moves and it's easy to see and use. Anybody got any more suggestions for me? I know one of my ladies last time brought a fish with her that she'd made, and she'd used the top of wine, the piece that covers over the top of a wine bottle or wine bottle caps. She had hammered them flat and then used those as the scales of her fish. And that was really attractive as well. Anybody wanting to ask anything? Not yet. I hope you're getting some ideas. Right. Now, make-believe. Of course, children love make-believe. It's a wonderful time for them. So they can make families, they can make elves, they can make pirates, they can do a Christmas theme, they can do a superhero theme. And that's all just using paint or paper that they cover the toilet roll with, and maybe a little bit of felt to make it really look pretty. You can make hats on them. You can do all sorts of things. Your hats you can make out of just rolling paper and popping it on top. And cotton wool buds, cotton wool is wonderful. It makes beards, it makes tops of hats, it makes noses, it makes so many things. And if you've got a button box, they can use buttons as well for the eyes. They can use buttons for all sorts of things as well. So here is just a variety of ideas to start thinking with them and getting them to say, I want to make the family. Right, who's in the family? Mom, dad, little brother, little sister, big brother, big sister, granny, grandpa. And then they can create their own people. Remember, never criticize whatever they have made, because in their mind, it is exactly what they were looking for. When I was at school, there was a poem about a little girl in art class, and she was asked to draw Mom. And she did Mom as a big round blob wearing orange with dots, polka dots all over, little head, little arms, little feet. And the teacher was quite critical and said, no, Mom's got a neck and a head and arms and the whole. When Mom came to fetch her, what did the teacher see? Mom was a round orange blob. Her dress was bright orange and it went to the floor. It had all the polka dots on it. And the only thing you could see was her head and her hands and her feet. So the little girl had drawn exactly what her mom looked like, but it didn't fit the stereotype of what a person looks like. So always be careful. Also, if they make an animal, and you're not sure what animal, don't make the mistake of saying, wow, that's a nice cow, because they're going to look at it and say, but it's a sheep. So the way to get around that is to say to them, that's a very nice animal. What sound does it make? And then they will go moo or baa or whatever. And you then know immediately it's a sheep or it's a horse or it's a cow or whatever. And then you can say, wow, your cow really looks so good, because then you are bolstering their confidence. If you mistakenly call it the wrong thing, they then start looking at it and going, it's not good enough. They couldn't see what it was. And so that is the easy way, is to ask questions about the animal until you are sure what it actually is. Then you're away. You can do all sorts of things with it then. All right. Anybody got any questions about making people, animals, and so on? We are going to do a lot more animals just now. Any? Okay, let's continue. Everybody's very quiet today. Now, your insects. Looking at the spider at the bottom, how do we turn a round toilet roll into a hexagon? Very easily. You take your toilet roll and you flatten it one way. If you're making, I'll do a square first, one way, then hold it like that and flatten it the other way. Now I've got a square, a perfect square to make whatever I want to make. If I want to make a hexagon, I flatten it once, and then I make two little marks. I measure it in thirds, two little marks on my roll. Unfortunately, I don't think you can see my two little marks. And then you fold along each of the marks. You fold down the first mark, you fold down the second mark, and you confirm your third mark. Then when you open it up, you have a perfect hexagon. There's my hexagon, a perfect hexagon. So now your animal doesn't always have to be round. You can turn it into all sorts of other ones that you want. Oops, I jumped a page by mistake. I must have touched something along the way. It's the trouble with touching things. So there is your shape of your spider. You then add your pipe cleaners, brightly colored, whatever you want, paint it the colors you want. I always suggest that you don't use a paintbrush. The reason is paintbrushes make stripes. I prefer to use a small piece of sponge. You take an ordinary sponge, cut it into little pieces. Then they just pop a little bit into you put some paint in a little container, and they then put it in and they just blob it on, just like that. It also gives it a texture. So it gives the animal a feeling. It's not a smooth, flat thing anymore. It's now got texture. And by just doing that, it dries very, very quickly. And you are then able to create your creature that you want to make. It's a lovely way of doing it. If you want to close up the front of your box, you can do it in many ways. You can use the black tape, insulation tape, and just put it across and then continue to paint. The painting will cover over the insulation tape and you'll never see it. And then you can put your eyes, nose, mouth, whatever you want onto it. But it makes a wonderful creature. You can make your ladybugs. You've got all different sorts of ladybugs that you can make. Looking at them, they're usually red with black spots if they are a ladybug. So then they can use paper to make their wings of their ladybug and either paint little blobs on it, or they can stick little pieces on. Depending on their age, they can decide what they would like to use. The little blobs that we have, I'm just going to get them because I keep talking about them. Hold on one second, please. sorry about that, but this makes it much easier. You get lots of these little round spiky balls. Some of them are glittery, some of them are smooth. You have a variety of them that you can use. So you've got soft ones, hard ones, glittery ones, spiky ones, and they come in an array of colors. So you've got all your different colors of what you are doing, and they are amazing to work with. You can also use buttons on them. I have a bottle of buttons, and they're all different shapes. And so the children can use the buttons on there as well. So that's another lovely thing you can use to decorate your different animals. Of course, your Google eyes are the best of the lot. They make everything come alive. So using different colored paper. When you do boredom busters, you can do sorting of paper. The children can sort paper into all the different colors, and then you can keep all the different colors in. And what I do is I have a whole lot of A4 envelopes. And sometimes I use A3, but usually A4. And then I put the same color paper in those envelopes and just label it. When I've got scraps of that color, those scraps usually get lost. Those scraps disappear. So rather than that, what I do is I put all the scraps into the envelope. So when children want a small piece, they go to the yellow envelope or the blue envelope or the green envelope or whatever color envelope it is, and then they use that. And they are then able to have paper that we don't cut into a brand new big A4 sheet of paper every time we want a tiny piece of paper. And I found that that saves so much paper by doing that. And they can find the size pieces that they are looking for. So now I've got butterflies here, I've got grasshoppers, bees, you name it, they can make them with all sorts of things. Paper, card, color, pretty sticky ribbon. There are just so many things out there. And if you're a scrapbooker and you've got scraps from your scrapbooking, wow, they are in the pound seats for that, because then there is such a variety of things there. So that is, for me, the best thing that you can possibly have. So right now, let's continue. I'm going to turn around for a second. My chair is slowly going down. I'm almost sitting on the floor. So I'm just going to put my chair up. Oh, come on, chair. Where's the piece that I need? Ah, there we are. That's much better. I feel human again. I could feel my legs were going down, 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 and I was going to be sitting on the floor in the next few minutes. So here are just a variety of ideas for the children to use. Now, why doesn't it want to move on? Now it'll move on. Okay, now here are some other animals. You can make whatever they are interested in. If they're into African animals, you've got your lion, your elephant, your zebra, your giraffe, all the different creatures and animals. And you can talk to them about them first and say, what's special about an elephant? Oh, an elephant's got a long trunk. What's special about a giraffe? Giraffe has a very long neck. So we need to make sure our giraffe has a long neck. How are you going to make that neck? What are you going to do to make it different? Now, the older children may cut their toilet roll and fold it in so that the body is fatter and the neck is longer. But that is their imagination. And you can show them a variety of pictures of different animals, simple ones, the cartoon type ones, just so that it gives them an idea, but then take it away. Don't let them copy. And mostly they don't want to copy anyway, because they have an idea in their mind. And so they are happy to then be able to do what they are doing. If they are into the farm, if you've been to visit a farm recently, using half a toilet roll, you can make amazing farm creatures. The pigs and the cows and the chickens and the ducks and all the different things. They can create those as well. So it really is special when that happens. You can make your animals stand sideways. You can make your animals tall and thin. You can make dinosaurs. The boys always love dinosaurs. You can create amazing dinosaurs using your toilet rolls as well. Just by folding different pieces backwards and forwards, you can create your Tyrannosaurus Rex or your Brontosaurus or whatever you are wanting to make. Now, space. Space is awesome. 2 pegs, 3 pegs, a toilet roll, and the top of a deodorant tin. There we've got a wonderful space rocket. They can decorate their space rocket, turn it into something really special, and their space rocket is now ready to take off into wherever they are going. You also have your very long, I've got even longer than that, the very long ones. You can turn those into the long rocket and add a piece of toilet roll at the top and pieces of toilet roll to hold the rockets to stand up. And they can put their Lego into it. That builds a really lovely long one, just cutting out little pieces of it. And to cut out without using a cutting knife, just squeezing the roll together usually works, unless it's a very thick roll like this one. There's no ways I'm ever going to be able to squeeze it together. Then you would have to cut it. If they are older, they can cut it themselves with care, hand far away from where they are cutting. No hand. As soon as it gets too close to the hand, the knife disappears. That is always a rule. It was a rule in my classroom, and it is a rule at home with the grandchildren. Hands near the cutting knife, gone. You have to make sure your hands are as far away as possible when you are cutting. You can use colored paper, tissue paper to make the back of the rocket so that it looks like it's got fire coming out of it. And in my moving toys, I teach you how to make a rocket that actually launches. And their toilet roll rocket they've made can now launch into the sky. And that is an awesome thing to do, to get what they've made to now move. Most of these bottom ones you could certainly use as moving toys with a little bit of help from an elastic band and probably 2 toothpicks will make it so that it can launch. Now, before I go on, any questions about things to do with children? Before I move on to our time. Our time is just as important as children time. So let's move on to our time. Our time, I call it me time, because it's time for you to be able to do things you would like to do. And here are some very simple things you can do with toilet rolls. The first one is to cut your toilet roll into pieces that are about that size. Then what you do is you press it together like we always do in half, and then you take the one side and push it inwards. That now gives you a heart. And then you can make a whole series of hearts. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. They're never exactly the same. And you can then put them together facing one in, one out, one in, one out, around a tea candle, around a bigger candle. You can put it around anything. You've painted whatever color goes with the color scheme, either of your dinner party or of your room where you're going to have your candle, and it suddenly brings a very plain candle to start looking like something really stunning. And now your candle has a new life. You can also make those for the people that are coming to dinner. They can each take home their own little candle, and you've done it in the color scheme of your dinner, be it blue, green, purple, silver, gold, or whatever. The second picture we have there is taking your toilet roll and cutting it into thin pieces and straightening it out. You can either iron it or straighten it, put it under some books, anything like that. And then you've got your nice flat piece. Now, you can then take it once it's flat, you can start bending it the way you want. You can fold it round your finger and just hold it for a few minutes and hold it tight, or put a peg on it is even better. We get a peg out of I have a box here. It's a 2-liter milk container. I've cut a hole in the 2-liter milk container, and inside there are all my pegs. Very easy way of storing anything. Most of my crafty stuff is stored in the 2-liter milk bottles. Easy to take in, easy to take out, easy to pull. So I can take a peg from there and I can just peg it closed just for a short time while I'm busy doing the next one or doing what I'm doing. When I'm finished, it is now closed like that. If I don't want it as closed, I can open it and make it whatever shape I would like to make it into. So I have got a variety of shapes here that we can work with. That can then be turned into something completely different. What they've done on this one, they've used old wire coat hangers and bent them as the back shape. And then from that, they have then been able to stick on different shapes and make what you want to make. You can do the same for a mirror. I've just done one like this for you to see, just using your toilet roll, flattening it just in half, and then using each piece of the flattened to make your flowers. You can make intricate flowers, you can make beautiful creations and things from it. So there are a variety of things that can be made from this so easily. It is amazing. Oops, it changed again. It is so easy to do it. Once you've got all your different ones, you glue them together, either with your glue gun, but there are so many contact glues around that you can use instead of a glue gun, particularly if you're working with children. I don't like them using the gun, but it's your sky's the limit as to the different designs and patterns that you just put them together with. And honestly, all you have done is taken your toilet roll and flattened it once. Taken it, flattened it. That's it. That's all you've done. And you make it as thick as you want or as thin as you want. It is just one only flattening of your toilet roll to be able to make such a variety of things. It's quite amazing. And you can then design what you want to put around a mirror, what you want to put. You start from the inside and you build outwards. I've done it with my granddaughters. They've had little simple mirrors. They didn't look so good. We then put that around it, and all of a sudden they've got a feature mirror and they love it. At the bottom, we have got a lamp, a very interesting lamp that after you've done, do you spray a hardener on the work so that it remains stiff and is protected? I haven't. A very good question. Yes, you certainly could do that with There's no reason why you couldn't do that. I paint them before I start, and then I cut them afterwards. So I cut them up into little bits, and I either use a spray paint. A spray paint's wonderful because it sprays inside and outside. I just put a big sheet of plastic down, and then I can spray, and I don't mess all over the floor or all over wherever I am. And I do it from a distance so that it's a light spraying of paint on it, and then I turn them over, let them dry, turn them over, spray them from the other side. And I find that by painting them with a spray paint, I don't need to add anything to them. I can still bend them and twist them according to the way that I want them to go.
How did you get the lights inside, or put the toilet paper where that there's lights? How did you configure that?
You can have either have a light fitting that's hanging down from the ceiling, or you could have a lamp that needs a shade. And I then created a lampshade. You create the lampshade by cutting your toilet roll. Well, you can have a longer piece on there if you wish, or a shorter piece. And all you do is to slice it so that it looks like a fringe. And you can open up your fringe, and you then put the toilet rolls next to each other, making a shape. What I did was I used a bowl so that I could glue them around the bowl. I started at the bottom of the bowl, so I had a big opening at the bottom to start. And I put them around the bowl. I went up the bowl, joining them together until it was round. And then when that was dry, I turned it upside down and I closed the shape. It was much easier to just close a small shape once the main bowl was already made.
It looks
And
like
then,
you have multiple bulbs in there. Not, I mean,
no, just one. One one bulb in there shines through all the different toilet rolls.
oh, I see.
It's only one bulb in there, and it shines. It gives you a diffused light. It doesn't give you a very bright light unless you happen to be sitting under the one that's facing straight down. You get more light from that. No, it's a single bulb. It's a single bulb, and the light shines through there.
Clever.
It's a lovely way of using a toilet roll, and you can have painted it silver, gold, green, blue, whatever you want. And now you've got this new creation, and all you've used is toilet rolls. Cost you nothing, but a bit of time, we've all got time these days. And so with time, you are able to really create amazing things. Any other questions? I'm not doing the box on purpose. I will get to the box at the end. Anybody else want to know something about just cutting and literally squeezing or twisting your toilet roll to make it into different things?
Sue, I just had an idea since
yes.
You're saying you flatten the tissue roll. Well, I was thinking I like to make a border for my picture frame because my picture is smaller. Instead of getting cardboard or that, paper, I could use the tissue rolls, right?
Of course. Of course.
And paint them and go all the way around, and that would be my border.
It would make an awesome border around.
Right. You gave me that idea when I seen you flatten it for the toys.
Good. Wow. See, there we go. We're getting everybody. It sparks new ideas. And that's the exciting things. As the new ideas get sparked and done, so you think, oh, but I could use it for this, or, oh, I can do it for that. And that makes it so good and so interesting. Now, last time I mentioned a rose made out of a toilet roll, and the people that were there looked at me and said, how? So I went away, and because to try and explain it was a little difficult. So I went away and I made some roses and some flowers just out of toilet rolls. And in your email that you're going to get, I have included step by step how to make these roses. So both sorts are there, how to make the different roses. They are very, you can also obviously find ideas on Pinterest. I have a board. In fact, I've got 5 boards on Pinterest, all filled with ideas that I come across and add to my boards, and then I use them to make my presentations. So for me, it makes it a little easier. But these roses are exquisite, and they are toilet rolls. When you've done it and you've painted it before you finally put it together, people can't believe that it is just made out of a toilet roll. So these are really beautiful. The bottom middle one you can certainly see is just flattened toilet rolls. But again, when painted, if the center is bright yellow and the petals are blues or purples or pinks or colors like that, they are going to, or reds, you're going to end up with some really interesting looking flowers that you can put onto a present, put on a parcel, put on the front of something that you're doing. Even if you've taken a toilet roll and you've just put some paper around it, you've just stuck pretty paper around it. I then use the lid of a milk bottle as my base. And so when I put things in, they don't fall straight through. Now I can use this for pens, I can use it for paintbrushes, I can use it for makeup, I can use it for anything. So there is such a variety of things that you can do. And of course, if you're wanting something that's taller, you just use a taller one. Use a short one, use a tall one, use a flat one. You can have a half a one if you're wanting to put, say, some little clips in that you don't want to keep sticking your finger deep into the clips. Then just make a shorter one. But you can really make some amazing ones. You can do it according to the color of your bathroom. You can do it according to the color of your kitchen. You can certainly put different things in your kitchen as well. And you've then got a beautiful roll, nicely colored. And as I say, I just find a lid that's the right size to fit at the bottom of the roll.
That is so clever. That is so neat. I'm going to try
that. Keisha, yes, you can make those roses into a brooch, certainly. That's a lovely thing that you can do with it. Yes, I agree with you there. That is absolutely an awesome thing you can do. So you see, the sky is the limit with a toilet roll. I hope that with this, you are all going to look at your toilet rolls in a different light. And you're going to think, why was I throwing that out? I can make this or that or the next thing. And yes, you could also make something if you're going to, once the lockdown is finally gone, or you can still get together with a few friends and you decide to have an evening where you all dress up, and you can make those roses and put them in your hair as a hair clip. You can just do so much with them. You can certainly turn them into really beautiful things. So please start looking at your toilet rolls in a different way. Any questions? No? Oh,
I just
yes.
have.
Yeah.
I just have a little comment.
Yes, Linda.
2 years ago, I took a toilet paper roll and I wrapped money around it as if it was paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I put like 20s, 5s, 10s, and I wrapped it up as a present, as a wedding present. So when we went to the wedding, when we had the reception for the wedding, we gave that to the the couple, and they unwrapped it when they were on their honeymoon, and they had so much fun unwrapping it because it was full of money.
What a lovely idea. That is so unique and so different. And as you unwrap each one, oh, we can use, a 10, a 5, whatever. Yes.
Yes.
And away you go. And it's amazing how much it adds up to in the end when you don't realize. I went through a time when I basically had nothing, and I couldn't even buy my children a cup of coffee. And it was probably the worst time of my life. And I vowed I would never get to that position ever again. So once I got back on my feet and started getting things together again, I started we had 5 Rand coins in South Africa. I put those into an ice cream tub. And every time I got one, it went into a jar first and then into an ice cream tub. I paid for my airfare to get to Australia with it in the end. It was amazing and I didn't miss those little coins. I really didn't miss them. And yet there they were, and they added up to an air ticket. And I was able to come to Australia and see my grandchildren here before I actually moved here. So it was really special. And I always knew that if anything went wrong, I always had that little money supply. And I still do it here. I collect $2 coins. It's just become a habit with me. And it's something that I will always continue to do. Then I know there's always that little lifeline if everything goes wrong.
That's right.
And it does. I can look back now and go, sure. But yes, the life throws you curveballs, and you've got to either collapse in a little heap or pick yourself up and get going again. And it's your choice to do. But Linda, what a lovely idea. I think that is a great idea to do. That is awesome. Right. Now, the gift box that I was speaking about earlier. Lovely little gift box for people to be able to see and do. You can decorate it whichever way you like.
Out there, I've seen things come in those packages like that, different things.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so simple. All it is a tube that is bent in at the ends, just as we did with the beginning when we were talking about making the mouth for the fish. You start with your toilet roll, you flatten your toilet roll, and then just pushing from the side. You push in from the side, and it closes at the top. Now you've got your box. You can put something small in it. Even if you just want people to take home something after a party, a dinner, put a few chocolates inside, pretty ribbon on, they take home in their little box and they've got it. When I do treasure hunts with my grandchildren, the clues are usually stored in these boxes. So they then they follow the 2 clues and go and find the box that has got whatever it is in it. So you can use this also if you've got something and you think, oh, I don't have anything and it's small and I've only got big bags and I've got to go soon. Put some pretty wrapping paper around it, glue it on, or use sticky paper, and then just a ribbon around it. What a lovely thing to have as a gift container. I've got these are little shiny shapes that I found in the cheap shop, and they're all shapes and sizes. I just chose this particular shape, took 4 of them, made them into a flower, and there's my flower on my parcel. So it's very, very simple to make. I do include this in my at the end as well. You get a copy of it as well.
And you paint all these?
Plant. Yeah, you paint them. Or I do it with if I'm not putting sticky paper over it, I use my sponge and I just quickly dab the paint onto it. I use an old, I'm going to use a label because it's a Kerry container that I have cream cheese in. They are wonderful. They can hold it. They seal tight afterwards so that and then you just store them on top of each other. So I can just open one, use my sponge, dab, 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 stick my sponge in the water, close up my container, and I am ready to rumble. I don't have to wash the container afterwards. So I'm all for the shortcuts because I often want something in a hurry. And if I've got to go and find a container and squeeze the tube oh no, if I've got it already there, it's quick and easy to do. And wash the sponge whenever. And it's all done. And it's so quick. And it gives you a lovely textured effect on the toilet rolls. So it makes it excellent. Yes, you're quite right, Priscilla. Toilet rolls do make excellent plant starters. You can just shut off the bottom again, put them into it, and put your soil in, and away they go. Yes, lovely idea. Plant starters as well. So I'm so glad people are starting to think about other ways to use your toilet rolls. It's awesome. It really is. It makes for such a super way of doing things. Any questions before I move on to the final bits and pieces? Okay. Right. Now, if you've got any new ideas that you would like to see made into presentations, to anything crafty that you'd like to find out about, please won't you put them into the feedback. There is a link to the feedback in your email. So I'd love to hear anything that you would like to add, because I'm trying to make as many different types of presentations. I do have 18 at the moment. So there are a wide variety of things that you can see, think, and do. But I have some other ones in mind already. So there are lots of things that people can either upcycle or recycle. And lastly, border bustums for your grandchildren, other ideas of things to do, simple science, cooking, upcycling, building structures, all of those are different groups of classes that I have. I really hope to be able to see all of you again. There is an email after the class, and the sessions are recorded, and you can get it from getsetup@io. So that is in the email too. So I'm going to
Is this
stop.
the actual, like, what you send in the email is an actual recording of this very thing?
No. In my email, I send you the how to make the rose and how to make the little basket, the little box, and just what we learned in the class. No, then if you want to have a recording where you can watch it again and again and stop it and make your own notes and things, then you ask for a recording, and they will then send it to you straight away.
Wow. You're wonderful. You're delightful.
Yes, you are.
Oh, thank you. I so enjoy doing it. I really do. It's wonderful. And it's lovely to be amongst people of my own age. I'm so used to teaching young children or young adults, and it's really lovely to be teaching people who are of similar age to myself. I never believed after 63 years in South Africa, when I moved to Australia, that I would be doing something like this. Thought I would be I am still teaching, but that I would have such a wonderful platform to be able to share ideas with people.
You're a delight.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank
if you
you.
have anything else, please feel free to either let us know or at Get Set Up. Thank you very much, Keisha. Thank you very much,
Have a good
everybody who's made comments, Diane and Barb's and Vivian. Thanks a lot. Much appreciated. Have a great evening. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.